Hello, this is the Brass Love One Healer Tarot here on YouTube, and I wanted to do a storyline reading on a Miss Tyra Crosby and a Miss Stephanie Alexander. Miss Alexander is a 51-year-old lady, a wife who murdered Tyra Crosby, a 25-year-old young lady who she found in her home. Now, I wanted to do the storyline reading because the law calls killing certain things, right? Manslaughter, murder, self-defense, and all kind of things. But when it's all over with, the person has been killed. And if you've been killed, you was murdered. If you didn't die by natural causes, you was murdered. If somebody caused your death, it was murdered. However you slice it. Okay, so I want to do a storyline reading for this young lady that had lots of life to live. 25-year-old young lady who could have been the daughter of this lady who murdered her, because it's murder. So can't dress it up as murder because it was a way out. It was another way. She didn't have to murder this young lady. She really didn't. She really didn't. Everybody want to play cowboys and Indians, but when it's time to pay the price, nobody want to pay the price. But everybody want to rush in and be a cowboy. Everybody. I'll be glad when they stop having it where everybody can walk around with guns and stuff like that, because people start fights just to pull their gun out. You need to go back to using your fists. Remember the good old days? Get back to that. Okay? So yeah, I want to say, before anybody go in and say anything about this young lady shouldn't have been in a lady house and things like that, you don't know what it was all about. You don't know the story. You don't know if the man said he wasn't married. You don't know what this man told this young lady. You don't know. So it's not going to be any victim blaming over here on this channel, because every victim over here is the person that's going to stand tall. Every victim. She is the victim. And every victim is going to stand tall on my channel. Every victim. And it got to be some spiritual justice. So I don't know what the law going to do with this lady. But God, she's going to pay the price for God. Because this channel is about spiritual justice. It was no reason why she should have took that young lady's life. I don't care nothing about. She was in her house. What was she doing in her house? Was she fighting her in her house? Even if she is robbing her in her house, there's no reason to be killing people. That need to be taken off the law books, because somebody's stealing from you, you can shoot somebody dead. No piece of furniture or piece of silverware is worth nobody's life. You can go buy another piece. So for any of you that say that she shouldn't have been in there and she get what she deserved because she's in there, and all kind of different crazy comments that I've seen on the internet, I don't want to hear that. Because if it was your relative, you'll be all out after that lady. You'd be hunting her down, truthfully speaking. You would be. That's the bottom line. You would be. But it's not your daughter. It's not your kinfolk. Okay, this is the Brass Love One. This is storyline reading. Universe, give me. That 8 is jumping out hard. Maybe this 8 is for Miss Crosby and this lady, Miss Alexander. The 8 jumping out like saying, pick me. Okay, I see you, 8. We got an 8 here. Whoa. Let's just see. I don't know what's all up in here, but, ooh, cross-dressing. Okay. Let's just flow. I don't know what was going on. You do not know what the story was. She really didn't. She might wasn't even a stranger. It might was put out on the phone like the girl was a stranger, Miss Crosby, but she might wasn't even a stranger. You don't know. We got the cross-dressing card right here. And this top card looking at me too. Let's just flow. Look at this top card. Look at this top card. I'm not selfish because I want a whole man. But he had to be considerate of his partner. Get what they're saying. Playing Russian roulette. Had to think twice. He had to think twice because he was playing Russian roulette. Look at these cards God given. Because he made a choice at the campground. That means home. Because he insinuated something what his wife did with sharp words. Somebody was getting high with the next card. Don't play with me. Do not play with me. Murder is murder. This lady didn't have to kill this young lady and take her life away because of some sorry piece of man that she had, that she probably cuddling up with right now. I don't care nothing about it was her husband. I don't care. He evidently don't care a whole lot about his wife if he got another woman in the house. So I don't care nothing about him. I care about this young lady whose life was snuffed out by a woman that's old enough to be her darn mother, that just was jealous, intimidated, and everything else she must have felt like to pull out a gun and shoot this girl like this. There was no reason for her to do that. If she was a stranger, she could have pointed the gun and said, "Get out of my house before I call the cops." And most of the time, people are going to get out of your house because they don't want the cops coming. If they take you on and still come and people shoot them, that's a different story. But so far, I haven't heard in the news that the young lady had a gun or that the young lady charged her or anything. Words had power. I didn't hear any of that. She just shot the young lady. That's what it sounded like she said on the 911. What reason did you have to shoot this young lady, miss? You should have told her to just leave your house or call the cops while she is sitting there. So let's just flow. Universe, give me another set. 11 jumping out. My cheese squeaky, so bear with me. Oh, shucks. Stay back there. Let me pause. I gotta get up. Well, I can just leave you on and get up. I can. Let's just go. I'll pause. So I said 11, right? So 11 is right here. I had to get, my cards were sitting back there, all of them. Okay. What this look like? What my number 11 look like? A door, right? She could have told the girl to go out her door. Just go in and walk out my door. She could have threatened her and said, "Go out my door before I shoot you." She could have said that at least. Why didn't she? Because the bottom card says what? She had a sixth sense about it all. Intuition. Right? Camouflage wouldn't work. Because she had a sixth sense about it all. Maybe that her husband was a darn cheater. I don't know. Or he had somebody home and she came rushing home or whatever. Because she was following him from a distance. Probably checking his phone or whatever she was doing. She was doing something from a distance. Follow me? It says right here that wearing certain kind of clothes exaggerated things, but it don't excuse her behavior. So I don't know if the young lady had on certain kind of clothes, and God says it don't excuse Miss Alexander's behavior because she saw in certain kind of clothes, or she wore certain kind of clothes. Miss Alexander, I don't know. Let's flow. Because it says right here that it is time for you to be the conqueror. So I'm going to turn this card around. She was looking at it was time for her to be the conqueror. Usually this go with the victim. Get what I'm saying? But I got to turn it around because she was going to be the conqueror, Miss Alexander. She was thinking, it's time I'm going to be the conqueror. Get what it's saying? Because it says right here, she is resistant to holding her husband accountable. Because she know her husband a cheater, right? But she wasn't going to be resistant to hold a young lady accountable, Miss Crosby. Because her husband was treating her like she was nothing. Because that's why he was cheating. But it says right here that Miss Crosby, did I say it right or did I say it wrong? Miss Alexander, right? She was gonna hold what was resistant to hold her husband accountable, but she wasn't resistant to holding Miss Crosby accountable. Follow me? She didn't hold her husband accountable, but she held Miss Crosby accountable. Get what I'm saying? Right? Because she killed her, shot and killed her in the floor, right? In the hallway, wherever it was. Her husband was treating her like she was nothing, right? But they was being, Miss Crosby was being treated harshly by others. And that would be by Miss Alexander and her husband. Because we have right here, the total community knows whatever the total community knows of some group of people. Follow me? So let's just flow a little bit. That was the bottom. Look at God. God right here, this universe. God wanted her to put the brakes on it. Miss Alexander. Put the brakes on it. Don't shoot her. Because she gonna get all tensed up because she getting in front of a judge. Because it says right here, right now, if she not on her path, she need to get on it. Because Miss Crosby was tattered. She needed a miracle. Get what I'm saying? So this healing of the soul cards, when you get wounded to the core, hurt to the core, or even murdered. These are abuse cards when someone abuse you or you abuse someone. Follow me? Okay, God gave me deck 8 and 11. That equals 118, 8, 11, 181, or whatever it could stand for. Part of a license, door number, birthday, address, amount of money, and lottery number, whatever it could be. Following part of a license or whatever, or time or whatever it could be. Let's just flow. She had to be considerate of her partner. Or Mr. Alexander needed to be considerate of his partner. Because he had a wife, right? I'm not selfish because I want a whole man. Follow me? So this usually a gay card. So if it don't go gay, if it ain't a gay card, it's a card when your husband ain't working, he not coming up to par, or it's a gay card. So some kind of way, something was going on with her husband. Follow me? So maybe he reached out another direction. I don't know. But he was playing Russian roulette, her husband. And he needed to think twice before he made moves and brought the young lady there, invited her there. But also his wife, Miss Alexander, was playing Russian roulette. And she needed to think twice before she pulled that trigger. Because she made a choice as far as her home, the campground, where she lived. She made that choice because she insinuated something. Or Miss Crosby did, one of them, right? With sharp words, follow me? So we had, she was getting high, but she needed to get her cell phone for help. Follow me? So let's just flow. So silly me. So we got a gay person here. Who's gay though? Which one is it? Is it the wife or the husband? One of them. Let me see. Not a bad thing I'm saying, but we just want to know a little bit more about this story. Because this young lady shouldn't be laying in a grave. One of these people was gay. She says she want a whole man, so maybe something going on with the man. If not, what's going on with the man, maybe it's the woman. One of them. Let's just flow. It's one of them. Which one, I can't tell yet. Let's see. If you met her lesbian, you're not all, you can still feel your God's mission. Okay, if you met him gay, you can still feel your God's mission. So I'm trying to figure out which one of these people are. Silly of me to think that I could fool you. One of them, his wife or him. I really think it's her, but I don't know for sure. Let's just go. Like I say, it don't really matter, but my concern is this young lady got murdered because of these people and their love life problems. He could have met her on a website. Who knows? You don't know. He might have met her off a website. Let's just flow. Or both of them might have met her. I don't know. Let's just flow. She acting like she don't know her, but she couldn't know her. Look at God. Look at God. Look at God. An insane apology is owed to Miss Tyra, her name is, Tyra Crosby, and then to her mother and family. And now is the time, Miss Alexander, you need to apologize. And God's saying it right here. And now is the time. You need to apologize. Period. A lot of people think it's your husband's fault and say that he shouldn't have invited Miss Crosby over. But I look at it as your fault because he didn't pull a trigger. You pulled the trigger. You pulled a trigger on a gun. He didn't. He just invited her over. So I feel like you are the one that's responsible because you the one pulled the trigger. You the one pulled out a gun. You did. He didn't. You had the problem with her. He didn't. If he had a problem with her, she wouldn't have still been in there. Let's just flow. Okay, let's flow, universe. You know all about it. Silly of me to think that I could fool you. Let's flow. Cross-dressing. Is this the cross-dressing God? No. Okay, there's something going on with the husband or the wife. Which one of you? One of you are gay. See, here's the agreement. Collaboration tangled up in an agreement. See, it was agreement. It was agreement. She ain't breaking that house now. Here's the agreement card right here. This is the agreement card. She ain't breaking. She making it seem like the girl just broke in her house. Something she found that in her house. She ain't breaking. Your husband opened that door. He opened that door like any man do. They gonna open the door for a pretty young woman. Or whatever woman. She ain't breaking your house, miss. You know you should have hollered out for your husband. You should have hollered out, I don't know what his name is. You should have hollered his name out. Whatever his name is. If it's George, I don't know what his name is. You should have hollered, George. Once you saw that girl, you should have hollered his name and he would have showed his face. Read his face. And that would have been it. You would have knew that she was in there with him. But no, you ain't do it that way. You wanted to handle her right there. And then you and him like you besties after you done murdered this young lady on the floor. And you and him like you best friends after he done had a woman in there. In the house. And you act like you friends like he did nothing wrong. But you got this young lady stretched out on your floor. Murdered. Like she was the worst person in the world. Like you hated her guts. Okay, so let's just see here for a minute. Just don't go here. The universe, you know all about it. You should have got your cell phone for help. You should have, you did call for help, but you called after you shot her. You should have called before that when you felt that she broke in your house. But she might have got her cell phone for help because it says somebody need to get their cell phone for help. So, let me see, she the victim here, right? Let me think for a minute. Whoa. Let me think. She the victim here, right? Let's see. You need money for bail. Well, she needed money for something. Miss Crosby. Let's just go for a minute. I don't know which one. You or your husband, one of you is gay. Let's just go for a minute. I'm trying to see which way this going. Silly of me to think that I could fool you. If you met him gay or you met her lesbian, you can still do your God mission. Whatever God wants done. So one of them was the man or the woman. Okay. Mr. Alexander was treating his wife like she was nothing because he brought a young lady in. He invited one over. Right? So we have right here Miss Alexander, Mrs. Alexander. What's her name? Stephanie. Maybe we can change. I can just say it certain ways so I can make it sound a certain way. Miss Stephanie Alexander, her. She treated Miss Crosby like she is nothing. And Miss Crosby was being treated harshly by others, by both, at one point. Like she was nobody in that house. Miss Alexander, Stephanie, she needed to do things in decency. Because some kind of way, she thought something was laughable. Maybe to even do. Because if she was following her husband from a distance, she had an intuition that something wasn't right at her house. And that's why she went flying in like she went in there. Because she had an intuition. Maybe she talked to him on the phone and he didn't sound right. Something wasn't right. Let's flow. This caught me off guard. If you met him cross-dressing, you're not obligated. If you met him cross-dressing, you are not obligated to take him back. So, if he wasn't cross-dressing or changing up no kind of way like that, her husband, we can make it with he was acting a different way. He was with another lady, so he changed up. He wasn't being the husband he's supposed to be. He was acting like a single man if he wasn't cross-dressing. Follow me? But he could have been. I don't know. It caught her off guard. It caught his wife off guard to come in there and see her husband acting how he was acting or whatever. Or he was cross-dressing some kind of way, like the card says. God says she need to get on her path right now. Follow me? So the next one is you're in your queenship. You are on your throne. A queen demands respect. So right here, she was in her queenship and she is on her throne. She felt like she is the queen of the house and of his life. And she felt she demanded respect. Follow me? But he is not treating his wife right because he brought in this young lady or invited her over. He was seeing it, she was seeing it clear as possible that he wasn't respecting her, right? So it says, here we go again with it. So this is something that repeated. Here we go again with it means it was repeated. It's not the first time for this man. It's not the first rodeo. So it says right here that it might be where he had Miss Crosby there before. I don't know. But he been with somebody because it says, here we go again with it. So we have right here that Miss Crosby was tattered. She needed a miracle. Follow me? But now is the time, God says, for Miss Alexander to apologize to Miss Tyra Crosby, she in the spirit, and to her mother and family. Because God said you owe an insane apology. It made no sense what you did to this young lady. Murder her and shoot her dead over this piece of man you had. Now's the time. This sorry man you had. Because if he cheating on you, evidently he ain't no good. Okay? Because the victim is always the people I'm on their side of when you're on my channel. Okay, it was collaboration and an agreement. Follow me? With your husband and Miss Crosby. Follow me? It was agreement. He made a choice about the campgrounds, the home, right? To bring this young lady over, invite her over. You was resistant to holding him accountable. But you wasn't resistant to holding Miss Crosby accountable. You went after her, right? Like a bulldog, right? We got the total community know about things, or some kind of way he deal with a website or whatever this is, right? Yeah. So it says right here, you went in head first. God wanted you to use your mind and think first, but you went in head first. God wanted you to not be like a sailor and go in head first fast, but you did. Because it says right here that Miss Crosby was hooked onto this man for financial gain some kind of way. And maybe your husband hooked on to you for financial gain because maybe he don't work. Okay, it says right here, you was feeling all your feelings. What all feelings you had? You was feeling those things. Glance at the moon. Thinking. Okay, so we have right here Miss Crosby. Because Miss Crosby is the victim here. I want to focus on the victim. Was trying to avoid your husband taking off her clothes, or you was trying to avoid Miss Crosby getting money out your husband, because it's a money card and it's a clothes card. So she is trying to avoid your husband taking off her clothes, Get what it's saying. Taking off the clothes. You see what that card say, right? Or we can turn it to you. You is trying to avoid Miss Crosby from taking your man's money, and that would be robbing, taking money, getting money out of your man, right? You didn't want that. So we have right here that you thought you did well. Follow me? We got 301. This could be part of anything from license, door number, birthday, time, court date, or whatever. Okay, we have right here, stop it right now. This is a money card. When somebody grabbing on you, touching on you, or want money. So Miss Crosby might have said, stop it right now. To you or to your man, to your husband. Some kind of way where your hands might have touched her. Some kind of way where she's saying, stop it right now. Where is yours? This is a money card. So she might wanted her money, whatever money she's supposed to be getting. Where's your money? Because he could have been grabbing after her, and she's saying, well, where's your money? Because maybe it was kind of money deal. Anything like that? Because she didn't break in your house, miss. Okay? I'm not foolish because I want a whole man. But the person need to be considerate of the person's partner. So if your husband wasn't straight, wasn't doing everything you felt your husband needed to do, your husband found somebody else. Or if you wasn't doing everything your husband wanted you to do, your husband went to find somebody else. It still ended up that way, however it's flowing. Or your husband not working, your husband gay, or not working, or not coming up to par some kind of way. Where for you to say you want a whole man. Right? But you had to be considerate of your partner. But this would be his card because he was the one with another woman in the house. So we have right here, you want to get to your focus point and be that butterfly. And your focus point was when you came in or you found out about or whatever, you had a inkling, you had intuition on this table. You got it's an intuition card on the table that shows you knew something was wrong at that house. You felt it. It ain't the first time he been with somebody or been with Miss Crosby. If it's not her, he been with somebody else. Right? If it's not this woman, he been with somebody else. This ain't the first ball game for this man. You wanted to soar like the butterfly, right? And get to your focus point, right? Your focus point was aiming that gun and doing what you was doing, right? Because you wanted to be the butterfly there, right? Wearing certain kind of clothes, exaggerated things that you had, that Miss Crosby had on. But it don't excuse your bad behavior. So I don't know what Miss Crosby had on. Or your husband had on. Because remember the cross-dressing card back then. I don't know what your husband was wearing or she was wearing. Could have been night clothes. Could have been lingerie. I don't know what nobody had on. But it don't excuse your bad behavior. God said no matter what nobody had on. It is your time to be a conqueror. You was looking at, you was going to be the conqueror right then. You was going to be the conqueror. Right? So it says right here that we got number 73. 37 could be part of anything from a license, door number, birthday, court date, or whatever it could be, time, part of a license. You're just going to focus on you now. Or right now, you want to focus on you. But it says right here, start to rely on your own voice and speak it. And learning how to get yourself from under others' thumbs. So this could be for Miss Crosby. She had to rely on her own voice and speak it and get herself from under others' thumbs. Let's flow if that's hers. A healthy means loving herself first. For Miss Crosby, I'm ready for a healthy love. It should really be you. Miss Alexander, Miss Healthy means loving yourself first. So you felt you was going to love yourself first. I'm ready for a healthy way of loving. So we here right here, you're looking for your money and your keys to serve you. And you did, to get you in that house evidently. or afterwards or whatever you did, because maybe Miss Crosby insinuated something with sharp words to you. Follow me? So the next one is, you had to think twice before making moves, God says, because you was playing Russian roulette. So we have right here that you cheating yourself out of a good life. We got the same mother. What happened to you? So this is a sibling card. So that might be one of your siblings that got a problem with you some kind of way, because of what happened. Or your husband and his sibling. Something going on where somebody is not living the life the other one think you should live. Or it could be where you and Miss Crosby work at the same job. If y'all work at a company somewhere. Anything like that. Camouflage won't work, God says, because you had intuition, a sixth sense. You know something was going on at the house. You knew nobody broke in at your house. You had a feeling, an intuition, a feeling your husband had somebody, because here we go again with it, came out. It's somewhere. Right? If I ain't said it yet. Because you was following him from a distance. Follow me? You was following him from a distance, or he was following Miss Crawford from a distance on some kind of website, or you was following him from a distance. Your husband. So we have right here, there was intense madness in your house. You wanted your husband to bring an emotional love you needed, but Miss Crosby at the time needed you to bring an emotional love she needed, because it was intense energy. So we have right here, God, when you put the brakes on it, stop, halt. You know what that means when you stop at that red light? Universe was talking to you, but you wasn't hearing God. You just wanted to be that conqueror that night, because this is not the first rodeo for your husband. It's not the first time. Here we go again with it. You pinpointed a problem, and you want to equal and fair with your husband. But equal and fair was not murdering this young lady. So it says right here that you want to get happy. This is the jail card. If you getting happy, something going to go your way, because it's the jail. I see the judge right here. That's what I'm saying. If you getting happy, that means something going your way. You want to fill out some applications and paperwork, and I feel it's kind of plea deal or anything like that that's going to help you, that helps you out. So it says right here that you're going to be residing in front of a judge, but you're going to be tensed up, because it says right here you need to get your cell phone for help, because you're just getting high. Or Miss Crosby needed to get her cell phone because she was getting high, but she did talk to her mother, her says. So her mother said she talked to her, so she did get her phone and she was talking. Okay, so right here, I feel this you is either one of y'all card. Miss Crosby was dealing with a biller. Miss Crosby. Let me say it right. Miss Crosby was dealing with somebody who owed her money, and that would be your father. Your father. Dang, where'd that come from? He is a father, I guess. That would be your husband. I'm sorry, Mr. Alexander owed her money, and she was the biller. She wanted her money, whatever was supposed to be paid to her. Follow me? Anything like that? Or this would be you. You want money because you got to pay the courts so you can have bail to get out. So if Miss Crosby was high and she needed to get her cell phone, she did talk to her mother. I think I heard right, so she did do that. But I don't know if you was high too, but I don't know for sure with you. But you're going to get your way some kind of way, because it says right here you're going to get happy. Follow me? Filling out applications. That go with you, with the judge. Some kind of paperwork, plea deal, anything that's going to make you benefit you. That's what that is like that. You pinpoint the problem. You want to equal and fair as far as your husband and being with another woman. But God said you need to put the brakes on that thing, miss. You need to put the brakes on that. Just like you do when you at that red light. You know how to put the brakes on, don't you? You wanted your husband to bring an emotional love you need, but he might have wanted you to bring it in. Because it was intense madness between you as a couple anyway, probably. But then it was at that night, it definitely was for Miss Crosby. You was following her from a distance, maybe in your house. You might have been following her around in there. I don't know. Or you was following your husband around outside of the home some kind of way. Or your husband was following Miss Crosby on the some kind of website. Because God said camouflage won't work for you. You knew all about your husband was a cheater and your husband doing things. Here's the God card. You had a sixth sense, your intuition. Yeah, he cheating. So we have right here, either you work at the same company, maybe with Miss Crosby, if she work at a company where you work at, or this is one of your siblings, your sibling or your husband's sibling, one of you. What happened to you? We got the same mother. Why you like that? Either your husband is a cross-dresser or you gay, and that's why the sibling talking like that about him, or your sibling, however it's flowing. But God says you needed to think twice before making moves because you was playing Russian roulette. But also Miss Crosby had to think twice before making moves because she would have been playing Russian roulette because you had a gun on her. She insinuated sharp words to you some kind of way, or you did to her, however it's flowing. You was looking for your keys and your money to serve you. So we have right here, you was ready for a healthy way of loving, and you was going to love you first. Follow me? So your problem wasn't with her. Your problem was with your man, and you should have took it up with him instead of you lovey-doveying with him after you done shot her dead in the floor. Because, yeah, I feel like I feel about it because it's a young lady that should not be dead over some sorry man. I don't care if your husband, I don't care if he's a preacher, I don't care who he is, I don't care if the judge, I don't care who he is. That young lady shouldn't have been stretched out on the floor dead. I don't care who he is. I don't care who he is. And he not even worth killing somebody over. Period. Because if he's gay, or if he don't even have a job, he don't even come up to par, what is you killing anybody for this man for? I'm on her side. The victim side. This young lady had a lot of life to live. And it looks like you're going to be able to have your way. It looks like the judge going to give you something where you don't get hit hard. You get what I'm saying? It look like you ain't going to be getting hit hard with what you call murder, right? Look like you're going to be probably getting some manslaughter or something soft. And we know that can go from, 3-4 years and things like that up to 15. Start to rely on your voice and speak it. You're just going to rely on your voice and speak it and learn how to get yourself from under your husband's thumb or anybody else's thumb because you was tired of it. You was a certain kind of way when you went in there because you've been following your husband. You had an intuition. You knew different stuff. So you was just ready. You was ready. You was ready. Because you shouldn't have killed that young lady. You should have told her just leave your house. But no, you went that direction with it. Nah, I don't feel sorry for you, miss. And I want you to pay, and God going to have you pay. I don't know what the judge going to do with you, but God going to have you pay. This channel is about spiritual justice, and you're going to get yours from God because you shot that young lady down like a dog over some sorry piece of man that you have just because she is in your house. You worse than those people. Somebody standing on that land and they shooting somebody because they standing on that land and all this. Somebody sitting on somebody's car, they killing somebody because they sitting on a car. Newsflash. People's lives are worth more than your car, more than some relationship you got with a man or whatever else. I really hope you get the fullest, whatever it is, whatever fullest you can get. I want you to get it because I don't like what you did to this young lady. Myself personally. I don't like it. Yeah, you was going to focus on you now. You was tired of whatever was going on. Your husband cheating because you see, you know he was a cheater because they say, here we go again. You want to focus on you now. 73-37 could be important. You was going to be that conqueror. You was determined you was going to make this happen. You saw that he had certain kind of clothes on. That exaggerated thing. She might have been in lingerie. He could have been with his boxers on. I'm just taking it like it is because it's saying certain kind of clothes exaggerated it. Get what I'm saying? So if she in what she in or he in what he in, that's going to really make you boil. Because who want to see that man in a house with some lady and he in his darn boxers? Get what I'm saying? Clothes exaggerated it. Whatever she had on or he had on that made you feel up. And God says, no, it don't excuse your bad behavior. And you was going to be that conqueror. See, I had to turn it around. This is usually the victim's card, but I got to turn it around to you. Right? Because you was going to be the victor, right? It's called. Yeah. It was your time to be the conqueror. You was going to conquer this. Like to say, I'm going to put a stop to this once and for all. You was going to get to your focus point, and you was going to be that butterfly and soar, right? Because one of you was gay, you or your husband, being considerate of your partner, or he wasn't being considerate of his, or whatever was going on. Not selfish because I want a whole man or a whole woman. Somebody wasn't giving no romance, and it must was you because he went to somebody else. However it's flowing, however it goes, where's yours, right? Because he is the money card. This is a money card. Where's yours? Supposed to be giving her money some kind of way. Or you asking your husband, where's his as far as something, whatever it is. Where's clothes at or whatever you asking. I don't know. Stop it right now. Really is when somebody is touching on you. So either your husband was grabbing on her or you was grabbing on her. Where she is saying, stop it. You felt you did well though. Because remember, you was going to be the conqueror that night. This could go to anything from a license to whatever. She was trying to avoid, right? It say him. She is trying to avoid him taking her clothes off. Or you is trying to avoid your husband, right, from giving her money. Follow me? So we have at nighttime some kind of way. So we have that you was feeling all your feelings. Because your husband might have been, you might have been an enabler for your husband to have any kind of financial gain. He might have been, you might be a breadwinner. I just don't know how it is in your house. But as far as Miss Crosby and your husband, he was going to be the enabler for Miss Crosby to have some money. She is going to get some money out of this man. I see 2 money cards. God didn't want you to go in head first like a sailor, fast, and just use your mind, right? But you went in head first. You used your mind. You used your mind, and you was going to be the conqueror there. She wasn't going to win. She wasn't going to win there because you felt like you was the queen of that castle. Here we got maybe the whole community know about it, or he might have found her on some kind of website. Anything like that. Something about the community. Or maybe he talked to more than one person in your community. You needed to hold him accountable. Because I feel you wasn't holding him accountable. You was resistant. But that night you wanted to hold Miss Crosby accountable. You wasn't resistant to hold her accountable and come after her with guns blazing. But you didn't do it for him. Because it says right here, you made a choice about your home, the campground. Right? You sit and said there's somebody in your house like she just broke in your house. She didn't break in your house. Your husband opened that door and let her in. Most men gonna let a woman in. If they can let them in, they gonna let them in. Especially if they got problems home, they gonna let them in. So nobody broke in your house, Miss. Like you making it seem like. Clear that up now. It was agreement, collaboration here, agreement. Here's agreement. You can't see it. It's light green. They agreed. It was agreement on this thing. To come to your house. He made that choice, your husband. But God said you owe an apology to Miss Crawford. She's here in the spirit, and her mother and her family. You owe it, and you need to spit it out your mouth. Spew it out your mouth. And say you sorry for taking this young woman's life over that piece of man of yours. That was treating you like nothing, evidently, because he was messing with somebody else. Or who all he was messing with. But you was going to be the conqueror because you felt you was the queen of that castle. Now's the time that God said you need to put it out there. God telling you, Miss, you better put it out there. because Miss Crawford was tattered. And she needed a miracle in there because you or your husband wasn't trying to give her CPR and help her do nothing. If you did, it was last minute. Most of the time, people don't want to help people that they shoot because they shooting you for a reason. They don't want to help you after that. Unless it's to save their own hide. Other than that, they don't want to help save you. Because look, you saw it clear. You see it now, clear as possible. Look, here we go again with it. That lets us know that your husband was a cheater and you know this man cheated, or he might have been with Miss Crosby before. But you was going to be the queen of that castle, wasn't you? Look right here. You're a queen. Now stay on your throne. You was going to stay on your throne. You was the woman of that house. And you felt you deserve respect. Follow me? Right now, God said you need to get on your path. And for you, your path would be jail. I'm telling you, your path is jail. So if the judge do the right thing, your path is jail. Right now, God's saying. Right now, God's saying, get on your path. This usually be when people out and all. God not telling you get on your path. You're not clear to get on your path out here. Because you done murdered a young lady. Your path is jail. God telling you right now, get on your path. Because that's where you belong. Your path. Okay? That's your jail. That's your path because you made it your path when you murdered that young lady. You made that your path. To be in jail and do things in jail and learn whatever lessons God wants you to learn in jail or whatever it is God wants you to learn is going to have to be in jail because you chose this path. You would have had a godly path out here, right? But you chose to do what you chose to do, so your path has to be behind bars. Get what God's saying. You need to do things in decency. Get what God's saying. You could have told Miss Crosby to leave your house. You was his wife, and you could have told your husband to escort her out. It could have been done a whole nother way. God said in decency. No, but you wanted to be the cowboy of that stable, didn't you? Yeah. Some kind of way you thought something was laughable. Or maybe you was talking to Miss Crosby and some kind of way she laughed about something because she was high. This usually go with the same person though. It's not her. You thought something was laughable. You or your husband, I feel right. You felt you was being treated harshly by others, and that would be Miss Crosby and by your husband, and you felt you was treated like you was nothing. But your husband was treating you like you was nothing. You need to put the blame where it belongs with your man, that one you chose to marry. And you and your man, both of you together, treated Miss Crosby like she was nothing. Because neither one of you tried to save her right away. If you even attempted, it was later on. Right? Because he caught you off guard. He caught you off guard. You caught him off guard. Cross-dressing. Like I said, if he wasn't cross-dressing, we can say the cross-dressing, we can make cross-dressing. In this storyline, we can make it he was in his pajamas or in his underpants. We can make that the cross-dressing. Get what I'm saying? Because he is in there with another woman. So if he ain't got all of his clothes on like I did, and he got on anything else, his undergarments, anything like that, that's what you consider, I'm going to call cross-dressing. Unless he's somebody who do cross-dress. I don't know the man, right? It caught you off guard. And I feel like he just was in his pajamas or in his boxers or whatever was going on. They caught you off guard when you came up in there. Or he was cross-dressing because we got a gay card. One of you are gay, whichever one of you it is. If you met him gay, you can still do your God mission. If you met her lesbian, that would be you. He can still do his God. You can still do yours. It don't matter which one of you it is. Silly me to think that I could fool you. So maybe you are. Maybe you are. Maybe you are. Why I say that? Because this the path person. This the path person and the God person. So this the lady. I feel. Because I'm going to say the cross-dressing. I'm going to put the cross-dressing with he was in his boxers or pajamas. I'm going to take it that way. Yeah. Yeah, and the path card, all path cards are God cards, right? So that means, yeah. And this goes with it. So this is your card. Yeah, that kind of, I didn't like that because people, they victim shame. And I know sometimes people shouldn't do certain things, but you don't know the way it's looking. The way it's looking is, it's not looking like really her and the girl had a bunch of fussing about anything. I heard some sharp words, insinuated something or whatever. That's the only phrase seemed like I see with her and Miss Crosby. I don't really know what that was, but it don't seem like, I don't even see the fighting card. I don't see the fighting card where they was fighting or anything. I don't even see the fighting card. So it's like she came in and she might have came in and she caught both of them off guard. He in his boxers maybe, or his pajamas, and she in what she had on maybe, or she just had on her regular clothes. I don't know. And you know, she just went for force, this wife of his. But no, you shouldn't have went for force like you're a cowgirl. You should have told her to get out of your house. You, his wife, get out of your house. You know, pointed your gun if you wanted to point your gun and leave it like that. But no, you had to go super far. But God said you was playing Russian roulette. You need to think twice before making moves. But you didn't think twice. You wanted to be the conqueror in this thing, to let her know you the woman of that house. You the queen of that house. Because you felt a certain kind of way about your own self. So he replacing you with a lady who, not gay, because I feel like you gay, who this lady who this wife here. So he replacing you with somebody, and I guess trying to feel whatever he's trying to feel or whatever. But he should have did things in the right way, because he's not innocent as far as bringing somebody in his house if he lived with his wife. That was sorry of him to do, but also it was sorry of you to mow down this young lady like this. Because it seemed like you know that your husband do certain things. It ain't like a surprise to you going off the storyline. So you definitely had to pay some kind of price for her life, because her life was worth $1 million plus more. There's no price on her life. And you deserve to pay some kind of way with your life. Your life is spared at least, but you got to pay some of your life for what you did to her to take hers away. And God said your path is jail. And that's where you're going whenever the judge gets you in there. Some kind of way you're going to get something on your side, though, where maybe you don't get the actual murder. You might get some manslaughter or whatever. Here, the judge right here. You sit there and throw out to the judge, oh, somebody was in my house. Somebody was in my house, like some burglars in your house. This girl wasn't a burglar, and you knew she wasn't a burglar. You saw your husband and what he had on, or she had on, you knew she wasn't no burglar. You mad because y'all got in a little fuss, and you shot her because it was some sharp words. And that's probably when the shot came. It ain't said nothing about she put her hands on you. I heard, wait, it was to stop it right now. So some kind of hands was on, so maybe y'all was tussling. Maybe it was something like that. But the hands won't come from her. She wanted your hands off of her. Yours or both of yours and your husband's or whoever hands was on her. Stop it right now. That's her talking. Yeah. I don't want to hear that sorry excuse like you don't know nothing about, like the lady just broke in your house. No, that's not flying. That's just as bad as that cop, Amber Geiger. I thought it was my apartment. If I hear that one more time, miss, you know that wasn't your darn apartment. I need for people to tell the truth and be honest, because God knows. God knows just what your intention was, miss. And you was mad because your husband is a cheater. Or he might have cheated with her before and you didn't like it, and you wanted to prove you was the queen of that household. You throw out she is in the wrong house and think you're just going to be able to just walk on out. Or because you got a gun on your hip or wherever you had it at, you can do that. Oh, somebody breaking your house, you can sit and say that and the law just set you free. Maybe some laws need to be changed. Because people can get away with anything if they can just sit and say somebody broke in and they just killed somebody dead. Nobody even broke in their house, and the law just believe it. All right, this the brass loved one. Had to do some speaking for this young lady because she deserves some speaking out for her. She's the victim. Young blood, 25-year-old young blood, young lady. They had lots of life to live, children to have, places to be, jobs to have, and everything else, and got cut down by this wife of his that had her own problems going on. But she needed to deal with her cheating husband because she is resistant to hold him accountable. But she wasn't resistant to hold a young lady. But he the one let her in, and he made the agreement. It's so easy for ladies to go try to start trouble with the other lady and don't do anything to that sorry men that you have. That's who you need to deal with. Deal with your sorry man. Deal with your cheating man before going messing with any ladies. But she should have checked to see if he had a wife there. But men lie. We already know they lie. Oh, me and my wife ain't together no more. She moved out. Some ladies don't go do a bunch of Google checks to find out if it's true. They believe what you say. Get what I'm saying? So she made a mistake as far as believing this lying man, whatever he might have said to her, by going in that house. Because it cost her life. Because his wife didn't have no kind of control of herself, right? Of her feelings, where she wasn't like insane. She wasn't insane. She knew just what she was doing. So don't even try to put no kind of you was insane thing down. Because I'm going to be the first one to raise my hand and say, no, you wasn't insane. You knew just what you was doing. You decide, no, I'm the queen. I'm the queen of this ship. I'm the captain of this ship. And that's how you carry that. When you could have just told her to leave your house. It's the brass loved one.